You know, the more I watch of Too Many Losing Heroines, the more I'm convinced this school can't be real. Because I'm pretty sure the only faculty members we've experienced in this show are a slutty nurse who does questionable things, from spy cams on students to, let's say, they get rowdy with the other teacher quite a bit in that nurse's office. And the only real teacher we know of who I'm convinced is borderline drunk every other scene, and when she doesn't appear drunk, she just seems slow in the head, and I don't know which is worse for being a teacher. But then you look at what some of the students do, like even our main cast, they got some questionable behaviors, but you know what, every school's got some rowdy people. They start the episode off, though, with pretty much a scene straight out of a zombie flick, but ain't no zombies to be found, just slutty high school girl. How that top kept anything in? Your guess is as good as mine. How, when she decided to grab the paper and nothing slipped out? Your guess is as good as mine. But you would have to imagine, no matter where you go, that would be a, hey, what the hell, change out of that, or you're suspended, or this or that. But I'm pretty sure there's only 2 faculty members. I don't even think they have a principal. I don't think they do. I think they have a nurse who spies on them, and one drunken teacher who barely keeps herself together and has no idea where she is. This school can't be real, and I thank them for it. I do have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to any of these wild episodes, you know it's going to be over there exclusively. So, minus a couple of, like, questionable moments of, like, did I just see that? Actually a pretty tame episode. I would argue this is one of the more chill episodes out of the batch, which in return let the characters feel a lot more human and organic. Because here's the thing, this show, at face value, if you just look at it from a distance, functions in a lot of ways a lot of these anime high school series do. But the big factor that helps differentiate it is the comedy directing and how the characters' personalities are just so balls to the walls insane, it lets everyone pop off. Now, they did have a little spice, a little fun moments, and characters were still fun, but in general, it wasn't as extreme as we're used to, which in return lets them feel like we got to know them a bit better or see them a bit better in a more human light than just here's this meme of a persona that they have. Very clearly, if you look at the new ED, I always love what they do. I mean, last arc's one that was heavily focused on Lemon, given it was pretty much her arc. This time more focus on Komari, given that it clearly is now focused on her. The watercolor pastel kind of look to it is just such a cool way to, you know, update the visuals. But, you know, very clearly, this is about Komari's feelings and her opening up. And I'm sure she's going to lose it. I'm sure every time we focus on a character, whether they've lost already or not, they're going to lose again. That's probably just how they're going to rub salt into the wounds. But the idea that you just have an episode that's actually fairly chill, and in most circumstances, what they did in this episode would probably feel pretty damn boring in a lot of different animes. But the idea that this show has such fun character personalities, like Komari as a character, if it wasn't for Lemon, she'd be my favorite out of the main batch. But as I say, Lemon is just the absolute best. She doesn't even use doors, she pops in through the windows, because why the hell not? That's what Best Girl does. I digress. She has a personality, though, Komari that is, that can be incredibly spicy, as seen by even in last week's episode when Grandma was being a little frisky and everyone was being a little frisky around our boy Nuck, and she was pretty much just insulting him, calling him a pervert more or less. But she also has that soft, timid side, and they did a really nice, sweet moment at the very end where our boy, I love that this is their bonding sequences, is that they both are fascinated by, like, which tap in the school is going to taste the best at this point. Oh, they got new plumbing, who's going to be the first? It's just such a weird little quirk they have going on. But then he locates her, and then she gets very startled as everyone's, you know, rushing to class. She has very much a fear of large groups of people. It's crystal clear. And what does he do? He says, hey, listen, I've timed it. It takes 80 some odd seconds from here to the classroom, so even if we wait a minute, we'll still get there on time. Very cute way, because she was very startled. Like, initially what she did when everyone started, like, and it's not even like they're running or being aggressive, but anyone with social anxiety, as she clearly has, latched on and just was holding on for dear life until she caught herself and then backed off because she didn't want to be a hindrance or a burden. Those little moments are just so cute, and I love the fact that Nuck, being the kind of self-proclaimed background side character that he thinks he is, very clearly is our MC, given who we follow in the show, but for the characters in questions, he is very much like a supporting character. Like, all of their objectives for who they truly love or who they think they truly like, he's kind of like that support that keeps them sane when everything crashes and burns. And ultimately, I mean, if they ever did decide to give him a partner in this show, it will most likely be Yanmi. Like, that's probably the route they go. Not just because she's like the first, so that's how these shows work. It just based on how they, I think it was like episode 3 or 4, give or take, I forget when it was like almost a confession but wasn't a confession. Even though it's questionable with some things she does, such as, well, she, at the end of last episode, pretty much asked, like, hey, I need a pretend boyfriend, can I have your friend? Like, she's disrespectful, and, yeah, if you ask me, there's the better options, but I think that's clearly where his heart's gonna be building into over time, but I love the fact that it's more than just who the MC is gonna end up with, it's also about the struggles of growing up, and I think they do it in such a comedic way, and in this case, it was actually a pretty tame episode, but it still had that element of humor. Just, rather than throwing a bag of spice in her face and that spice is laughs, it's more of chuckles throughout the episode with a grin on your face, which was just very pleasant. Though if you do watch the new credits and then you watch after said credits, there is this moment with the student council. I don't know what the hell happened there, man. Like, I can't tell if that was sexual tension. I don't know what's going on in this school. I'm convinced they got a student council, a slutty nurse, and a drunk teacher. I think that's the hierarchy of this school's, like, I don't know, political power, because whatever happened at the end was just the most wild thing to casually do. He's trying to turn in his application, and then what happens is ain't no one gonna believe him. He's like, I swear this third year was into me. I swear. No one's gonna believe him, of course, but we saw what we saw. It's just a wild episode while being simultaneously one of the more tame episodes. But I guess when you've seen as many batshit crazy things as we have in the show, tame for this show might actually be considered pretty wild for most of these school series after all. Of course, those are my feelings, though. Let me know what you're thinking. I actually would say this was one of the more pleasant and enjoyable episodes out of the 8, even if it wasn't the most intense, but maybe you got a different feel. Let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. Like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout-out. Alright, so today we got Zeno, Michael Goodley, Yuki Alley, Emil Edberg, Azoff Montgomery, Migs021, James Wright, Gareth Green, Dirkberg Jude, Kevin J. Coleman, Third Dynasty, and we also have Artur Kunha. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.